IMDBStudio presents Mystery Theater. Today's episode: 50 Candles.
Good evening. This is Sergeant X. I don't think we need a Gallup poll to tell us that nearly everybody's in favor of a good mystery story. There's enough would-be Sherlock Holmes in most of us so that we get a kick out of attempting to solve a crime, even if it's only on the radio. So get out those magnifying glasses and meerschaum pipes for tonight's adventure in the Mystery Playhouse. Tonight, the Mystery Playhouse gives you amateur sleuths a chance to exercise your talents. We invite you to match wits with the author of tonight's story, Earl Derbiggers, creator of the Charlie Chan series, and see if you can solve his mystery before the solution is finally given. You will be presented with a murder and 5 likely suspects. And if you catch the various clues as they come, you'll be able to put your finger on the murderer before the curtain falls. And here is a hint to the most important clue of all. It's contained in the title of tonight's tale, 50 Candles. Good hunting.
My name is George Winthrop. I'll never forget that horrible night I stood alone in the library of my former employer, Henry Drew. It was a stern and foreboding room. The heavy yellow fog from the fields of marsh grass seemed to be pressing close against the window panes. I'd been invited to Henry Drew's birthday party. Inside the big house, it was oppressively quiet. And then suddenly... I ran the door of the dining room. The table was set with gleaming silver and white linen. In the center stood a cake with 50 pink candles. I took a few steps across the room and stopped, horrified. There was a body on the floor. But let's go back to the events that led up to my shocking discovery. 4 years ago, Henry Drew, the San Francisco millionaire, had hired me to take charge of a copper mine in China. The mine had been a failure, and Drew promised that if I could make it pay, he'd reward me with a third interest in the property. Well, after 4 long, hard, and successful years in Yunnan, I returned to Shanghai to see Henry Drew.
Yes, Winthrop, you've done a splendid job, and I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you, sir. It was a tough job. I think I really earned my third interest in that property.
What? A third interest?
Oh, yes, sir. You remember. You said if I could make the mine pay, you'd give me, in addition to my salary, a third interest in the property.
Why, you must be dreaming, boy. That's ridiculous. I never made any such promise, and you know it.
But you gave me a word.
Well, I assume if you have a witness.
Of course not, but I fulfill my end of the bargain. I demand that you keep yours.
Oh? Then I'll accept it.
Accept what?
Your resignation.
Oh, so that's it. Well, you won't get away with it. I'm going to...
Oh, am I interrupting something?
Not at all. Come in, Carlotta.
Have you finished your business?
Yes, my dear. We're quite through.
Through?
Mr. Winthrop, I suppose you'll be glad to get back to the States.
Yes, Mrs. Drew. Good day, Mr. Drew. I'll see you in court. I was young and ambitious, and this act of injustice seared my mind with hatred for Henry Drew. Well, I booked passage as soon as I could for San Francisco. The boat was crowded, and I was informed that I'd have to share a stateroom with the ship's doctor and another male passenger. When I went on board and down to my stateroom, I found that already...
Make yourself comfortable, Mr. Winthrop.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Parker.
There'll be another gentleman in here, they tell me.
Put my bags in here, Hung.
Yes, Mr. Drew.
Oh, hello, Doctor. Huh? Winthrop, What are you doing here?
These happen to be my quarters, Mr. Drew.
Well, in that case, I'll have mine changed immediately. Come along, Hung.
Yes, Mr. Drew.
What a character, Dr. Parker. A famous Henry Drew who made his millions swindling other people.
Well, you'll have to admit he has good taste in women. Mrs. Drew is quite attractive.
Oh, sure. But he's old enough to be her father.
Who's the young American girl that Drew hired as traveling companion for Mrs. Drew?
Oh, she's Mary Telfair.
Oh, you must be interested.
Well, I am, but so far it's all on my side.
Excuse, please. Mrs. Drew would like Dr. Parker come to Drew's stateroom right away.
Oh, yes. I'll be right along, Hung.
Thank you, Doc.
You know, it's an odd thing about his relation to Drew. It's more of a slave than a servant.
Slave?
Yeah. About 20 years ago, Henry Drew saved his life. And for that, Hung pledged Drew 20 years' servitude. Old Drew really exercised his rights as a master, too. Once he even prevented Hung from marrying a Chinese girl that he fancied. Later, the girl married old Dr. Sue.
Well, I imagine Hung will be very happy when his 20 years of slavery end, that he can do as he pleases. In any event, better luck with your romance.
Yes, Mary, it's really been very funny. Old man Drew couldn't get another stateroom, see, so he's had to make the best of an uncomfortable situation, bunking with me.
I can imagine. But he's really been very nice to me.
Well, who wouldn't be nice to you?
George, look down there on deck.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Park and Mrs. Drew, huh? Yeah, they're going into Drew's stateroom.
I wish I had her clothes.
And her money. Yes, I think the good doctor has more than a professional interest in Mrs. Drew.
Yes, I gave Mr. Drew a